My friend, if you feel lost right now, let me assure you of one simple truth. You are not broken. You are not defeated. You are simply being called back to your purpose. You do not wander because you lack power. You wander because you have forgotten where your power lives. It lives in definiteness of purpose. So I give you this challenge. For the next 14 days, rise each morning and declare aloud your purpose in life, even if it feels distant, even if it's not perfectly clear. Speak it anyway. Shape it as best you can. Repeat it with conviction. Affirm it with emotion. Let your words ring with belief. Then act every single day. Take even the smallest step that aligns with that purpose. Write, learn, build, speak, reach, but move. Because confusion cannot survive in the presence of bold action. Doubt cannot thrive in the mind that is fed daily with faith. And fear has no power over the soul that chooses to persist. If you do this for 14 days, no excuses, no exceptions, you will find that something begins to stir. It is not magic, it is law. The law that what you impress upon your mind with repetition and belief must eventually express itself in your world. The law that says faith, when acted upon, becomes reality. The law that says you were never meant to drift aimlessly. You were born to direct your life with purpose. So if you are lost, it is not the end. It is the call to begin again. But this time with intention. Say your purpose, act on it. Do this without fail for 14 days, and you will not be the same person on day 15. You will not be lost. You will be on fire with purpose. When a man feels lost, it is seldom because he lacks ability or intelligence. It is almost always because he has lost sight of a clearly defined objective. He has no fixed star to guide him, no definite major purpose to command his thoughts, decisions, and daily actions. Like a ship at sea without a rudder, he is tossed about by winds and waves, pushed and pulled by the opinions of others, the noise of the world, and the temporary demands of his environment. This condition is not permanent unless he allows it to be. The mind, when left without direction, defaults to drifting, and drifting is the enemy of growth, achievement, and peace. The man who reclaims direction is the man who reclaims command over his own destiny. Definiteness of purpose is more than merely setting a goal. It is the conscious decision to select one chief aim, one central mission, and to give it such intense emotional and mental focus that it becomes the organizing principle of every aspect of life. A definite purpose acts as a magnetic force, drawing into your life the thoughts, people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with your aim. It filters out distractions, it silences internal confusion, and it converts scattered effort into focused power. Energy without direction is wasted, but energy directed by a central purpose is transformed into genius. There is no greater tragedy than a powerful mind wandering without aim. The man who knows what he wants can bend time, influence others, and turn obstacles into tools of advancement. The man who does not know what he wants becomes a servant to those who do. Nature favors the bold. Nature aligns herself with the mind that has committed itself to a cause. This is why the moment you fix your purpose and begin to act upon it, unseen forces begin to move in your favor. Coincidences appear. Assistance arrives. Doors that once seemed shut swing open. This is not superstition. It is the result of a mind that has chosen to focus, to act, and to believe. It is the law of cause and effect operating through mental clarity. Clarity of purpose awakens courage. When a man is unsure of his mission, fear dominates his thoughts. He hesitates, he delays, he overthinks. But when a man knows his mission and accepts it as his divine duty, fear loses its grip. He becomes immune to petty criticism and no longer seeks permission to move forward. His movements are purposeful and his decisions are firm. Even if mistakes are made along the way, he adjusts and continues, because the direction is never in question. Definite purpose gives a man permission to begin and the faith to persist. It is the cure for the disease of waiting, waiting for the right time, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for the opinions of others to align. All waiting is a symptom of uncertainty. Certainty is born from definiteness of purpose. No man stumbles his way into greatness. Greatness is achieved through deliberate design, and that design begins in the mind that has decided what it intends to create. You must be willing to sit with your own mind, free from noise, and ask yourself the most vital question a man can ask. What do I truly want? Not what do others expect, not what is convenient, not what is safe, but what is worthy of my life's energy and focus. This answer, once discovered, must be written out in clear, simple language. It must be read daily, spoken aloud with emotion, and held in the mind with unwavering belief. This is the process by which the subconscious mind is trained to cooperate. And when the subconscious mind is in harmony with your purpose, the actions you take become almost automatic. Inspiration flows. Discipline becomes effortless. Sacrifice becomes a privilege. It is not enough to have a vague desire for success or happiness or wealth. Vague desires produce vague results. The mind must have a target. The soul must have a mission. It is the absence of this mission that causes a man to feel hollow inside even when surrounded by opportunities. He looks outward, hoping to find meaning in other people, in material things, in random experiences. But meaning is not found, it is chosen. Purpose is not discovered, it is decided. The moment you declare a definite purpose and make it your chief aim in life, you begin to live deliberately. You are no longer a wanderer, you are a builder. You are no longer reactive, you are proactive. You do not need the world to hand you a path. You blaze one. Your mind becomes ordered. Your actions gain weight. Your days begin to build upon each other with intention and unity. You begin to notice progress, and that progress fuels you. Nothing is more powerful than a mind that knows what it wants and is committed to getting it. Even temporary setbacks become fuel. The man of definite purpose does not see failure as defeat. He sees it as refinement. Every misstep reveals a truth. Every disappointment strengthens resolve. The direction never changes, only the method. While others drift from one idea to the next, he stands rooted in purpose. While others chase novelty, he builds mastery. While others crumble under pressure, he becomes more focused. The path to fulfillment, success, wealth, peace, love, or legacy begins with a clear, unwavering decision about what you are here to accomplish and a deep internal agreement to pursue it with everything you have. The man who feels lost is not lacking power. He is simply misdirecting it. The remedy lies in the deliberate, conscious act of choosing a purpose so meaningful that it commands your spirit and so clear that it guides your every step. The mind is a fertile garden, and the seeds you plant will determine the harvest you reap. Too often, a man allows random thoughts and opinions to take root, growing wild and uncontrolled, choking out the potential for greatness. But there is a tool, a secret weapon, that has been known for centuries, a practice so powerful that it can transform a weak and uncertain mind into a fortress of confidence, clarity, and unstoppable will. That tool is daily autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is the deliberate act of feeding your mind with repeated statements of your purpose, belief, and desire. It is the conscious programming of your subconscious through repetition and feeling. Just as a farmer does not scatter seeds carelessly but plants each one with purpose, so too must you plant thoughts that nurture your goal. Each day, your mind hears the message you choose to deliver, and with persistent repetition, it begins to accept that message as truth. The subconscious mind, the silent partner in every decision you make, has no power to question what it is fed. It accepts and acts upon what you impress upon it. The key to autosuggestion is repetition combined with emotion. Merely repeating words in a dull, mechanical way will produce weak results. But when the words are spoken or thought with vivid feeling, faith, desire, and conviction, they are etched deeply into the subconscious. These charged thoughts become commands that direct your habits, attitudes, and behaviors. Over time, your subconscious aligns your daily actions with the beliefs it has accepted, creating a powerful momentum toward your goal. Consider the mind as a vast, invisible mechanism that is always at work, even when you are unaware. This mechanism cannot distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. When you consistently suggest to your subconscious mind that you are confident, capable, and moving closer to your purpose, the subconscious acts to make those thoughts your reality. It directs your focus to opportunities that align with these beliefs. It prompts you to act decisively, to persist despite challenges, and to maintain a positive attitude even when circumstances seem adverse. The converse is also true. If you allow doubt, fear, and negative beliefs to dominate your inner conversation, your subconscious will absorb those messages and manifest them in your external world. This is why the practice of daily autosuggestion must be disciplined and consistent. It is the guard at the gate of your mind, deciding what ideas enter and flourish. You may wonder how long it takes for this process to create lasting change. Scientific studies of habit formation confirm what great thinkers have long known: consistent repetition over weeks, even months, rewires the neural pathways in your brain. The 14-day or 21-day rule, often quoted, is not a magical number, but a practical guideline. Every day you feed your subconscious with positive, purpose-driven statements, you weaken old, limiting beliefs and strengthen new, empowering ones. Autosuggestion works because it bypasses the critical conscious mind that often hesitates or doubts. The subconscious accepts information passively without judgment. This means the words you choose and the emotions you attach to them are critical. Saying, "I will succeed," with half-hearted effort will not suffice. Instead, say it with full belief, imagining the feeling of success, the pride, the relief, the joy. Envision your desired outcome as if it is happening now. When this vivid emotional energy accompanies your words, the subconscious registers them as commands to act upon. This process of mental conditioning also builds faith. Faith is not blind hope. It is belief that is developed and strengthened through repeated affirmation and aligned action. Each day that you practice autosuggestion, you prove to yourself that your purpose is real and attainable. This builds confidence and dissolves fear. Faith becomes a habit, just like worry or doubt. Moreover, daily autosuggestion creates an internal narrative that reshapes your identity. The stories you tell yourself about who you are become the foundation of your character. When you tell yourself daily, "I am a person of unwavering determination," or "I attract success through my focus and effort," you are planting the seeds of these qualities within you. Over time, these affirmations take root and manifest as your new reality. The power of autosuggestion is amplified when paired with action. Words alone do not create success. They must be backed by effort. Yet the mind often hesitates before action, caught in a web of uncertainty or fear. Autosuggestion breaks this inertia by preparing the subconscious to support your efforts. When your mind believes in your purpose, you find the strength to take the next step, even if it is small. These small steps compound, building the path forward. Each action confirms the truth of your affirmations, reinforcing the cycle. One must also recognize that autosuggestion is a lifelong practice. The mind is constantly exposed to competing influences, negative news, criticism, doubts from others, and internal fears. Without daily reaffirmation of your purpose and power, these opposing forces will infiltrate your thoughts and weaken your resolve. Think of autosuggestion as a daily mental hygiene practice, cleansing and strengthening your mind against destructive forces. Great men and women throughout history have used this principle, whether consciously or unconsciously. They did not become successful by chance, but by feeding their minds with persistent belief and vision. They chose words and images that elevated them above circumstance. And when doubt or difficulty arose, they returned to their daily practice, reinforcing the foundation of their achievement. You might ask, what kind of statements should one use? The answer lies in simplicity and positivity. Your affirmations should be present tense, personal, and specific. For example, instead of saying, "I will be rich someday," say, "I am becoming financially free through my efforts and persistence." Instead of "I hope to be confident," say, "I am confident and calm in every situation." The subconscious understands the present tense as reality, so your statements must reflect what you desire as if it already exists. To begin, write your affirmations down and read them aloud every morning and night. Feel each word resonate within you. Visualize the reality you are creating. Let the emotion of success fill you. Then carry this conviction throughout your day. When negative thoughts arise, counter them immediately with your affirmations. Over time, this will become second nature. Remember, your mind is the master builder of your destiny. Daily autosuggestion is the architect's tool for designing your future. The thoughts you plant, nurture, and reinforce are the blueprint for the life you will create. Neglect this practice, and your mind will be at the mercy of chance and circumstance. Embrace it with discipline and faith, and you become the deliberate creator of your own reality. Faith is often misunderstood as a mystical gift granted only to a chosen few, something that appears suddenly in moments of great need or is simply waited on until it arrives. But faith is not a passive state. It is not the fruit of chance or circumstance. Faith is a living power that must be deliberately cultivated, nurtured, and strengthened every single day. It is the foundation upon which all success is built, the invisible force that moves mountains and compels the mind and body to act in harmony toward a chosen purpose. To wait for faith to come is to wait for the wind to change direction before setting sail. Waiting implies passivity, hesitation, and doubt. These are the enemies of progress. The moment a man begins to act on his desire, even before all conditions are perfect, faith begins to grow. Action is the fertilizer that causes faith to sprout and mature. Without action, faith remains dormant, a mere possibility rather than a powerful reality. The man who waits for faith to appear is like the farmer who waits for rain but never plants his seed. True faith does not come from hoping for results, but from knowing that your purpose is worthy and that your efforts, no matter how small, are moving you closer to it. This knowing is born from repeated acts of courage and persistence. Each time you choose to move forward in the face of uncertainty, each time you refuse to give in to fear or hesitation, you add strength to your faith. Faith is a muscle that grows stronger only through use. Many fail to understand this principle and thus become victims of discouragement. They see the challenges ahead and feel unworthy or unable, then tell themselves, "I will have faith when I see proof." But proof never arrives for those who do not act first. Proof is the reward for faith in motion. It is the evidence that the mind's belief has influenced reality. Waiting for proof before believing is like waiting for fruit to appear before planting the tree. Faith is also a conscious choice. It begins in the mind with a decision to believe in the possibility of your success and the certainty of your ability. This choice must be made deliberately, often over and over, especially when circumstances seem bleak. Your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings fuel your actions. By choosing to cultivate faith daily through affirmations, visualization, and focused effort, you begin to reprogram your mind to accept your goal as inevitable. A man who cultivates faith becomes immune to the doubts and fears that plague others. He understands that setbacks and obstacles are not signs of failure, but tests of his commitment. Every difficulty faced with faith adds layers to his confidence and deepens his resolve. This is why faith is described as a fixed purpose combined with definite plans. It is not blind optimism, but the certainty born from deliberate preparation and consistent action. It is important to understand that faith is not an emotion that appears suddenly. It is a state of mind developed by habit. When you repeatedly tell yourself that your purpose is achievable and worth pursuing, your subconscious mind accepts this as truth. This acceptance then directs your mental faculties to seek solutions rather than excuses. It causes you to persist when others quit and to find opportunities hidden within challenges. Faith also aligns the conscious and subconscious minds. The subconscious cannot distinguish between real events and vividly imagined realities accompanied by strong belief and emotion. When faith is cultivated through deliberate thought and feeling, the subconscious begins to work tirelessly to create conditions that support your desire. It communicates with your conscious mind through inspiration, ideas, and impulses that guide you toward your goal. Moreover, faith acts as a shield against the negative influences of doubt, fear, and criticism. The world is filled with naysayers and pessimists whose voices can drown out the quiet voice of faith within you. Cultivating faith requires discipline to guard your mind against these destructive thoughts and to replace them with affirmations of strength and certainty. The practice of daily self-affirmation is essential because it nourishes faith and protects it from erosion. Another crucial aspect of cultivating faith is gratitude. When you focus on the blessings you already possess and express genuine appreciation, you reinforce the belief that more good things are coming your way. Gratitude shifts your mind from lack to abundance and opens the channels for faith to flow freely. It prepares your mind to receive the positive outcomes that your faith has set in motion. Those who wait passively for faith to come often find themselves trapped in cycles of fear and indecision. They listen to their doubts and fears, allowing these emotions to grow unchecked. Without faith, they hesitate to take the steps necessary to progress. But the man who chooses to cultivate faith understands that it is through faith-inspired action that life's doors open. He acts first, even when the path is not perfectly clear, trusting that his faith will illuminate the way as he moves forward. Faith is the spark that ignites desire into reality. Without faith, desire remains a dream, a vague hope. With faith, desire becomes a burning fire that fuels persistence and creativity. It gives the mind the power to overcome every obstacle, to rise above every defeat, and to continue until success is achieved. This power is available to every man and woman willing to cultivate it daily with intention and persistence. The cultivation of faith requires patience and unwavering commitment. It is not a quick fix, but a lifelong practice. Each day presents opportunities to strengthen your faith by choosing belief over doubt, action over inaction, hope over despair. With every step you take toward your goal, your faith deepens, becoming a wellspring of strength and confidence that sustains you through the most challenging times. In the end, faith must be cultivated as a dynamic, living force. It cannot be waited on, wished for, or hoped to appear magically. It is born in the decisions you make, the actions you take, and the thoughts you choose to feed your mind. It is a state of mind cultivated by those who understand that they are the architects of their destiny and the masters of their fate. Those who embrace this truth move forward with courage, knowing that faith is the invisible hand that will carry them from uncertainty to triumph. Confusion is the enemy of progress. It clouds the mind, paralyzes the will, and suffocates the spark of initiative that leads to achievement. When a man finds himself lost in uncertainty, overwhelmed by conflicting thoughts and the noise of doubt, he must remember this essential truth. Action is the antidote to confusion. It is the clear, decisive steps taken forward that cut through mental fog and restore clarity, direction, and confidence. To wait for clarity before moving is to wait forever, for clarity often comes because of action, not before it. The human mind is naturally restless and prone to overthinking. When faced with choices or challenges, it can spiral into endless speculation, weighing every possible outcome, fearing every potential mistake. This state of indecision breeds stagnation. The mind, instead of serving as a tool, becomes a prison. But the moment a man chooses to act, even imperfectly, he breaks the chains of doubt. Action creates momentum. Momentum clears away hesitation and builds confidence. It signals to the subconscious mind that the conscious mind has made a commitment, and this alignment unleashes power and insight previously obscured by confusion. It is important to understand that action does not mean reckless, thoughtless movement. It means deliberate steps aligned with your purpose. Even small actions, when taken consistently, have the power to transform uncertainty into progress. Each action taken, no matter how minor, teaches the mind something new. It reveals what works and what does not. It provides feedback and informs the next move. Without action, the mind remains trapped in theory and speculation, disconnected from reality, and deprived of the lessons that experience imparts. Confusion thrives in inaction. The longer a man hesitates, the more possibilities his mind invents, many of them frightening or overwhelming. This cascade of imagined dangers, failures, and rejections often becomes paralyzing. Yet the truth is that no thought or fear can prevent the man who acts from moving forward. Action confronts fear directly. When you act, fear retreats, because it cannot survive in the presence of decisive movement. The mind shifts from imagining the worst to focusing on the possibilities that action uncovers. Another vital aspect of action is that it creates clarity through experience. A man may spend years pondering the right path, yet the only way to truly know is to step onto it. By doing, you learn. By trying, you discover new options. The answers you seek rarely come from sitting still or from endless planning alone. They come from engagement with the world, from putting your plans into motion, and from observing the results. Action is a form of education, one that is immediate, practical, and deeply transformative. Action also builds courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite fear. The man who takes action in the face of confusion develops courage with each step. This courage grows cumulatively. At first, each action may feel like a struggle, requiring effort to overcome hesitation. But as action becomes a habit, courage becomes a natural companion. This new confidence reduces confusion further, creating a virtuous cycle where clarity fuels action and action fuels clarity. Many who feel lost or confused wait for the perfect moment, when everything aligns, when all doubts vanish, when the path is fully clear. This moment rarely comes. Life is inherently uncertain. Conditions are rarely perfect. Waiting for certainty is a form of procrastination disguised as prudence. It is often the fear of failure or rejection masquerading as thoughtful planning. The wise man understands that progress is made not by waiting for certainty, but by creating certainty through action. It is also true that confusion is often the sign that a man is on the brink of growth. When new ideas, new goals, or new directions arise, they disrupt old habits and challenge familiar patterns. This disruption creates discomfort and uncertainty, but it also signals transformation. The man who welcomes this discomfort and moves through it by taking action positions himself for breakthrough. He understands that confusion is a temporary stage, the space between old limitations and new possibilities, bridged only by action. When confusion strikes, it is helpful to remember that no one achieves success without making decisions and taking risks. Every great achievement in history is the product of a man who acted despite uncertainty. Action reveals character. It separates those who dream from those who accomplish. It allows the mind to evolve beyond doubt and into mastery. The more you act, the less confusing your path becomes, because each action teaches you how to navigate obstacles, adjust your course, and harness your inner resources. Action also aligns your emotions with your intellect. When confused, emotions tend to oscillate between hope and despair, enthusiasm and doubt. These conflicting feelings generate inner turmoil. Action brings balance. It provides a sense of control and purpose that steadies the emotions. When you move forward, even in small ways, you signal to yourself that you are capable and in command. This emotional steadiness reduces the noise in your mind, helping you to think more clearly and make better decisions. The first step is often the hardest because it requires breaking the inertia of indecision. But once that step is taken, the momentum builds naturally. The mind begins to see patterns, to connect dots that were previously invisible. Opportunities that were hidden in the shadows come into the light. New ideas emerge. Confidence grows. This momentum feeds itself and becomes unstoppable. The man who acts dispels confusion because he shifts from being a passive spectator of his life to an active participant. To harness this power, cultivate the habit of immediate, decisive action. When faced with a decision or challenge, commit to a step, no matter how small, that moves you toward your goal. Avoid the temptation to overanalyze or wait for perfect conditions. Trust that clarity will come through doing, not just thinking. Use action as a compass that guides you out of the fog. Let it be your proof that you are on the right path, even if the path twists and turns unexpectedly. Confusion will visit every man at some point, but it need not be a place of fear or despair. It is a signpost indicating that change is necessary and that new growth is possible. The only way to move beyond confusion is to act. Let your steps break the silence of hesitation and replace uncertainty with the sound of progress. Each action you take sharpens your vision and brings you closer to the life you desire and deserve. Adversity is often misunderstood as a sign that a man has failed, that he is weak or unworthy. But this could not be further from the truth. Adversity is not the opposite of success. It is a vital part of the journey toward it. It is a signal, a clear and unmistakable message that growth is underway. When challenges appear, they are not barriers designed to stop a man, but rather tests and opportunities designed to prepare him for greater achievement. To see adversity as failure is to misunderstand the very nature of progress and to miss the lessons that lead to true mastery. Every man who has achieved greatness has encountered adversity. The history of success is a history of overcoming obstacles. These obstacles are not punishments, but stepping stones. They stretch the mind and spirit beyond comfort, compelling a man to develop new skills, new attitudes, and a new level of determination. Adversity is a forge in which character is tempered, and the stronger the heat, the more resilient the metal becomes. Without adversity, a man remains untested and unprepared for the responsibilities and rewards that success demands. When adversity strikes, the natural reaction is often to recoil, to feel defeated, or to question one's path. This reaction, while human, is misguided. Adversity does not mean that a man's efforts are in vain. It means that his journey is progressing. It is a sign that he has ventured beyond the familiar and comfortable into the realm of growth. Like a seed cracking through the soil, adversity is the pressure that forces the shell to break and allows new life to emerge. It is an essential part of the process of transformation. Adversity also provides valuable feedback. It reveals weaknesses that must be addressed and strengths that can be relied upon. It shows where a man's preparation has been insufficient and where his resolve is strong. This feedback is necessary for refinement. The man who understands this does not see adversity as a wall, but as a mirror. It reflects what he must improve and where he must persist. It guides his next steps and deepens his commitment to his purpose. Many men make the mistake of equating temporary defeat with permanent failure. They allow one setback to define their worth or determine their future. This is a critical error. Failure is not falling down, failure is staying down. Adversity only becomes failure when a man surrenders to it, giving up on his purpose and his potential. The truly successful man uses adversity as fuel for renewed effort. He knows that every setback contains the seed of a greater comeback. Each challenge conquered adds to his strength and wisdom. Another vital truth is that adversity is the test of faith. Faith is not proven when all is smooth and easy. It is proven when storms rage and uncertainty looms. To cultivate faith during adversity requires courage and perseverance. It requires the conviction that the struggle is meaningful and that the goal is worth every sacrifice. This kind of faith sustains a man when others would falter. It transforms adversity from a curse into a blessing, a necessary chapter in the story of success. The lessons learned in adversity are often the most valuable. They teach humility, patience, and endurance. They develop empathy and wisdom. A man who has faced hardship understands the value of perseverance and the importance of adapting to change. He becomes more resourceful and innovative because adversity forces him to find new ways to overcome old problems. This creative problem-solving is a hallmark of success. Adversity also forges resilience, a mental toughness that protects a man against future challenges. Resilience is not innate, it is built through experience. The more a man confronts difficulty and chooses to press forward, the stronger his resilience becomes. This resilience allows him to face uncertainty with confidence, to recover from setbacks quickly, and to maintain a positive attitude in the face of adversity. It becomes a shield and a sword in the battle for success. It is important to remember that adversity is often a sign that a man is pursuing a worthy and ambitious goal. Easy success rarely requires growth or sacrifice. When a man sets his sights on a goal that stretches his abilities and challenges his limits, adversity will naturally follow. This is not a reason to quit, but a confirmation that he is on the right path. Adversity separates those who are truly committed from those who are not. It tests the depth of desire and the strength of purpose. To face adversity effectively, a man must maintain a clear vision of his goal. This vision acts as a compass, guiding him through the storm. When the pain of adversity threatens to overwhelm, the man who remembers why he started and what he aims to achieve will find the strength to endure. The clarity of purpose transforms obstacles from detours into part of the journey. It reminds him that every hardship endured is an investment in his future success. Adversity also builds character, which is the foundation of lasting success. A man's character is revealed in how he responds to challenges, how he treats others during hardship, and how he maintains integrity when tested. Success without character is fragile and fleeting. The man who embraces adversity as a growth opportunity develops a character that earns trust, respect, and influence. This character becomes his greatest asset. One must also recognize that adversity often brings unexpected opportunities. When the familiar path is blocked, new paths appear. These paths may lead to discoveries that would never have been made without the initial obstacle. The man who faces adversity with an open mind and a resilient spirit finds opportunities disguised as problems. He learns to pivot, innovate, and capitalize on situations others avoid. This ability to turn adversity into advantage is the mark of a true achiever. In times of adversity, support from others can be crucial, but ultimately the power to grow lies within. No one can cultivate strength for you. It must be developed through personal effort and mindset. The man who takes responsibility for his growth, who views adversity as a challenge to overcome rather than a punishment to endure, will emerge stronger and wiser. He understands that growth is a personal journey, shaped by the choices he makes in response to hardship. Adversity is not the end of the road, but a milestone on the path of progress. It signals that transformation is occurring beneath the surface. The man who embraces this truth moves forward with courage and determination, knowing that every challenge overcome is a step toward mastery. He does not fear adversity, but welcomes it as the teacher that guides him toward his highest potential. Persistence is the great equalizer among men. Talent, intelligence, and opportunity are valuable, but without persistence, these qualities often fall short of their potential. What sets those who achieve extraordinary success apart is not mere desire, but the ability to persist, day after day, without fail, through every challenge and distraction. When a man commits to persistence over a set period, such as 14 days, something remarkable happens. Momentum builds. This momentum becomes a powerful force that carries him forward, making each successive effort easier and more natural. The first few days of persistence are often the hardest. The mind rebels against new habits, comfort tempts the will to give in, and distractions seek to steal attention. Yet this is the moment when character is tested. The man who endures these early challenges establishes a foundation upon which momentum is built. It is the repeated choice to act, despite obstacles and fatigue, that creates the ripple effect. With each consecutive day of persistent effort, resistance weakens and confidence strengthens. Momentum is more than just a feeling. It is a force of nature that compounds effort and multiplies results. When persistence is consistent, momentum gathers energy like a snowball rolling down a hill, growing larger and more unstoppable. This momentum changes the internal landscape of the mind. Doubt and hesitation fade as belief and determination rise. The tasks that once seemed daunting become manageable. The man's focus sharpens, and his actions become more aligned with his goals. Persistence over a 14-day period also rewires the mind. Repetition solidifies habits and creates new neural pathways, making productive behaviors automatic rather than forced. This transformation frees mental energy to be directed toward creative problem-solving and strategic planning. The man who persists is no longer just pushing against resistance, he is flowing with the current of his own momentum. This state is a powerful advantage as it leads to accelerated progress and greater resilience against setbacks. Another important aspect of persistence is the discipline it cultivates. Discipline is the ability to choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. It is the refusal to allow fleeting impulses or distractions to derail progress. By committing to persistent effort for 14 days straight, a man trains his willpower, strengthening the mental muscle that governs self-control. This newfound discipline becomes an asset that extends beyond the initial period, supporting continued growth and achievement. It is crucial to understand that momentum created by persistence is not limited to physical actions alone. Persistence in thought and attitude is equally important. A man who consistently feeds his mind with positive affirmations, constructive ideas, and a vision of success amplifies momentum in the mental and emotional realms. This holistic persistence creates a harmony between mind and body, each reinforcing the other, resulting in a powerful drive toward the goal. Persistence over 14 days also allows for the development of clarity and focus. When a man commits to showing up daily, he gains a deeper understanding of his goals and the steps required to achieve them. He learns to identify distractions and eliminate them. His priorities become clear, and his efforts more efficient. This clarity further fuels momentum because actions are no longer random or scattered. They are purposeful and strategic. One of the most significant benefits of persistent effort over 14 days is the confidence it builds. Confidence is not an innate trait, but a state earned through repeated successes, no matter how small. Each day of persistence adds a small victory to the ledger of achievement. These victories accumulate, creating an unshakable belief in one's ability to overcome obstacles and reach the desired outcome. This confidence is a self-reinforcing cycle that propels a man forward, even in the face of adversity. Persistence is also the key to overcoming fear and doubt. Fear thrives on uncertainty and inaction. When a man takes consistent steps toward his goal, he removes the fuel that feeds fear. The unknown becomes known through experience, and doubt diminishes as results emerge. The momentum created by 14 days of persistence transforms fear from a paralyzing force into a manageable challenge. This transformation empowers a man to take greater risks and seize opportunities that would otherwise remain out of reach. It is important to note that persistence does not mean stubbornly repeating the same action without adjustment. True persistence is flexible and intelligent. It involves assessing results, learning from mistakes, and refining methods while maintaining unwavering commitment to the ultimate goal. The momentum built during the first 14 days provides the energy and insight needed to make these adjustments effectively. This combination of persistence and adaptability is what turns effort into lasting success. The habit of persistence cultivated over 14 days sets the stage for a lifetime of achievement. It teaches a man that progress is the sum of small, consistent actions rather than occasional bursts of effort. This lesson is invaluable because it empowers him to tackle even the most daunting goals with confidence and resolve. The momentum generated becomes a powerful asset that can be called upon repeatedly throughout life's challenges. Finally, persistence creates a sense of ownership and personal responsibility. When a man commits to 14 days of consistent effort, he takes control of his destiny. He no longer waits for luck, inspiration, or external conditions to be perfect. Instead, he becomes the architect of his own success, knowing that his daily actions shape his future. This mindset shift is fundamental to achieving extraordinary results and living a purposeful life.